Yeah. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cho Super Hyper Show. I am one half of the show. I am Toku Tony, along with the other half.
Hey, Super Blastics. We're back at it.
Yeah, it seems like we're getting good at this, huh?
No?
Well, practice makes perfect, I think.
Yeah.
And we're definitely trying new things every time. Every single upload has been something new, a new way of doing it. And next time might be another new way.
Yeah, so this time we're recording in the same room with one PC. We're going to see how that works out. My main priority is that the audio doesn't get botched.
Right.
Because if it does, then we'll just go back to recording in two separate computers. But we just finished watching last Sunday's, so like 2 days ago's Superhero Time, which was Geats 24 and Don Bros 50 finale, the last episode. TJ?
That was a great Superhero Time, to say the least. We don't usually get a Superhero Time like this that's like really good. Geats specifically was a clip show for the most part, so it really gave us like a highlight of Dawn Brothers, essentially.
Superhero Time was definitely carried this week, for me at least, by Dawn Brothers, like it is every week. But I did enjoy getting to watch some new stuff in Geats. It was mostly kind of like a clip show, but there was some stuff that moved along. I still kind of confused on the story for Geats, what's going on. We'll get into it when we cover the episode. But before we get into all that, how's your week been, TJ?
It's been good. It's been slow for the most part. I had not a workplace accident, but a vehicle accident, in the safest kind of way. My work van had a coolant leak, which is terrible.
Yeah, we don't gotta get super into it, but there was an incident here at the house, and we reacted maybe too overtly to it, but everything's fine. Nothing major. In case work is listening.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, everything's cool. It was just something that sort of rushed the adrenaline over here when it happened. It's just something with the like you said, was the coolant?
Yeah. Apparently, from what I heard from the people that were working on the van, since we towed it today, we have to replace all of the hoses. So this could have happened while I was on the road.
Why did the hoses need to be? What happened?
I'm not too sure. That's just what they told me. That the problem was from everything leaking, that the hoses were old and they needed to be replaced. But it could just be like a mechanic trying to get the most money out of us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the company doing it, so I don't know. Plus, you guys need it for the work. You guys deliver medical equipment across the city, so it's really, really necessary.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm still here. Oh, I finished Pokemon. I finished Pokemon finally.
Nice.
Which, I finished the main story. They're still at post game stuff, which is cool. Of course. I really hope I accidentally open YouTube. None of that audio gets through. I'm pretty sure it will. Don't worry about it if you hear it. Yeah, I beat Pokemon. I'm going to work on finishing that because today was Pokemon Day. We got to see a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, Pokemon Day.
Well, probably the best thing that come out of the Pokemon Day today was the DLC that we got announced. It's going to come in two parts like it usually does. And the first part is actually going to be inspired by the story of Don Momotaro, which is amazing. I can't wait. There's even a part in the trailer where you see masks hanging. It's like a festival, Japanese festival. Mm-hmm. And you see masks hanging up somewhere. And those masks look like Sentai masks.
Yeah, they did.
So and I got from like TikTok or Twitter or somewhere that it sort of implies that maybe these new Pokemon they're showing that are based on the Don Momotaro legend, they might have a different form where they look like more like Rangers. And oh my God, there's nothing you can point at more than Don Brothers.
Yep.
I feel like that show really left a bigger impact than we anticipated when the show first started. But again, before we get too far into talking about the episode, at least too far into talking about Don Brothers, we need to talk about Geats first.
Yes. Geats 25?
Geats 24.
24. The clip show.
Kind of, yeah.
It was weird. It definitely introduced a major aspect, which was the Yamato Grand Prix.
So we're not really told what happened after the events of the last episode where she blew up where the Yamato Garden was. Mm-hmm. But it seems like the Yamato Garden is fine because she actually was able to hack the Grand Prix itself. And now, like Tony said, it's going to be the Yamato Grand Prix, which means now it's the Yamato are contestants. Because the end title card says kind of the same thing we got at the beginning of the first episode of the Desire Grand Prix, excuse me, where a human or a writer fights to get their dream fulfilled. Over at the end of this episode, the little title card thing at the end said the same thing, but Yamato fight to get their dream. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to flip that whole script, and it's kind of cool. So yeah, some of the new stuff, a couple new things. I'm probably gonna miss some stuff, but because I did take notes, but since it was a clip show and it is the second time we watch it, because we watched these live and we watch them again with the subtitles to get better context. But because live you can basically tell what's going on when you watch it live,
pretty much.
But the subtitles add context. We just need to learn Japanese, is what it is. So we find out that the DGP actually travels through all time. So when Tycoon was asking the frog, that they're time travelers or whatever, the frog was basically saying, yeah, we've been through here, Roman times and Goku period, even times that you would consider the future. So they're even from the farther future than where we are now. So they've gone a lot of different places. But again, we don't really know why, other than it just being entertainment. We don't really know why. We also find out that the Yamato specifically were engineered to be the bad guys. So they're made for fighting. So them becoming aware and being conscious is new, I guess. They're evolving.
Yeah.
When I was mentioning this a lot last time we had an episode, why this specifically is happening now instead of all the thousands of years that this has been going on.
What Baroba said is that it was a miraculous evolution.
Yeah, but again, why now? It's just the right ingredients at the right time, I guess. Mm-hmm. Which you can always just write up to that because it's the writer decides this stuff. I don't really understand how Baroba has actually hacked the DGP. Like, what got her to do that? Because she didn't get her wish. She didn't, talk to the Desire.
No, but she has the Game Master belt.
She has a Game Master belt, but she still needs a producer's belt.
Right, to get the wish.
Right, but how is she able to do this all with just the Game Master's belt?
There's probably some way.
Okay. Maybe we'll find out later, but yeah, I think they're trusting us a little bit, sort of like just go with it for now, which I can go along with for a while. I mean, we're about to talk about Don Brothers, so I think what is the main difference for me between this and Don Brothers, because we've talked a bit about it a little bit for Don Brothers. There's just some stuff that's missing that we just don't know about, and again, we'll get into it later when we talk more about the last episode. Some stuff that just wasn't answered or cleared up. But the reason I sort of accept that versus what we're seeing in Geats is the characters. I care so much about the Don Brothers more than I do these Geats characters. And maybe it's because I saw one of them for more than half a year than the other one.
Maybe.
And maybe because I'm just a Sentai mark. I care more about Dawn Brothers, so I sort of excuse what's going on with them.
Yeah, there we go. For me, I like both equally, but I always like to give a fair shot to Kamen Rider, because that's pretty much what I clung on to when starting with Tokusatsu outside of just Super Sentai. But that being said, the Geats does have a lot of holes in, like, the characters that we're getting aren't as super memorable as Dawn Brothers. So, like, every week that we get to see Superhero Time, we're always looking forward to Dawn Brothers a little bit more than Geats. Because for me, I'm just waiting for the story to get, like, incredible in Geats. Because Dawn Brothers, for the most part, has always been a 10 out of 10 episode. Every week, Dawn Brothers gets better.
Yeah, every episode feels like 5 episodes in one episode. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
There's more stuff that happened in this episode. I'm just getting caught up because I really want to talk about Dawn Brothers. But in Geats, I forgot, we did see the first actual henshin of Ace.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Which turns out wasn't in Roman times.
Nope.
Even though he has that coin, we don't really know what's going on with that. Maybe
and that memory.
Maybe it's an artifact in his memory. Yeah, he's definitely not of this world, or maybe he's also from the future. Who knows? But seeing him here as a high schooler was interesting, and this looks like it's their first time meeting. So
yeah.
Because he didn't, like, when he touched the buckle, he didn't go, oh, I remember everything. This was canonically, in the timeline at least, the first time he became a writer. And then the episode, they keep talking about all the other times he's won, or just how often he's won, and he's been a bane in their existence. So, yeah. And then, yeah, this is where we see her sort of take over the DGP, where it's now the JGP. And then, yeah, right at the end, we do see that all of the writers, I don't have a shot of the henshin forms, but we have the shots of all the new writers that we get introduced here, who are the sponsors of the heroes that we've been watching so far. So we can see Baroba, Jean, Kekera, and Kyun. And they all have that new gun that works with cards. Kind of interesting is 3 out of 4 of them are CG.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you, Dawn Brothers. No, I'm kidding. But we see, yeah, so she becomes like a big bull robot monster. He becomes a...
I don't really know what it is.
He's a wolf.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a wolf to Geats' fox.
Oh, that makes sense.
He's a frog.
Big old
and
frog.
He is a lion. A CG lion, CG frog, CG bull robot beast thing.
Yeah.
And we see the sort of standoff here where they're going to fight each other because they want their writers to win. Because right now the writer's mission is to stop the Jamato from getting the producer's belt, because again, if Roba gets the producer's belt, then she can get her dream. It's weird to me though that her plan is to unleash the Jamato onto like the streets.
She's got to have an ulterior motive.
I think it's just a dumb plan, because is she trying to goat out the producer? Because the producer's fine. He's just staying in the dimension that he stays in, never going to get caught, right? If that's what she wants, he can just not have her get it.
There's a little bit of a hint at the end there with the producer. He's pretty excited about it. He's trying to hide it, but it looks like he's excited to see what's going to happen.
I think he just likes what this could do for the ratings, which again, it lends itself to, because this is supposed to be like a reality show. So he's probably getting excited that more people are going to watch, more revenue. Which, yeah, I can see that being the reason why.
we see Kekera has a human form. He even said it in the show. Do you like the form? Because nobody, Bebero, didn't know who he was at first. Didn't know at all.
Yeah.
Kyun does not meet his sponsor in this episode. He writes on a notepad, I guess, and transmits that message to a letter pad that she has.
I think she's a sponsee, I think. Maybe I'm making up words. But he's a sponsor. She's not.
But Kyun does not meet
Neon
in the episode at all. Kyun doesn't even know that Neon doesn't even know that Kyun is the sponsor. Like, they've never seen face to face.
Yeah. But he wants to make her happy. That's his whole deal, is that he wants to make sure she's happy, even if it's not with him, I guess, or maybe he got a crush on her. Something's going on there. I can 100% see him turning out to be a straight up bad guy in the future. But go ahead.
He's giving me Gact vibes. I don't know why. Maybe it's the hair.
Gact.
Yeah, Gact vibes.
I'm not too familiar with that man. I just know I shouldn't be familiar with him. What was I gonna say? Oh, I'm gonna stick with my theory that all of these forms are just gonna be power-ups for our writers.
Yeah.
Mostly, I mean, there's lots of reasons, but the big thing is that a lot of these are CG writers. And that'd be easy to just fold that CG down into half of a suit, and boom, now Buffa looks more like a bull, and he's stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Tycoon will have a frog thing or something. And Neon's already a cat. She'd get a lion. It makes sense. And then again, fox, wolf, same kind of thing. Not really, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I can see that coming. I don't see these sponsors being here that long. Like, they're your human forms, at least. I think their powers will be used in the future, but not them necessarily.
I could see that. I could see the powers staying longer than the human forms.
Yeah, mostly because they part of the whole premise of the show is that anybody can get these powers, and then just how you fight with it is what you do. So I could see that, because that's in the main point of the show, is the Grand Prix. Any old person could be in part of the thing and be a part of the show. I think that's going to happen into the producers as well. We'll see. Maybe they will stick around, but they won't henshin anymore because the writers will use their power-ups. We'll see what happens. Next week we are going to see the start of the JGP. So she's going to start doing the games for everybody. Baroba's going to be doing the games, I guess, for the Jamato. We're going to see what happens next week. Looks like Buffa's back. He's going to fight Geats again.
Every episode.
Not this episode.
Rare.
But yeah, we'll see what happens next week.
I'm excited, for sure.
You sound excited.
Yeah, I love Kamen Rider. The GDP.
You don't actually sound excited.
I do.
That was sarcasm.
Oh, I really. I'm looking forward to the JDP. Not because
JGP.
The JGP, Jamato Grand Prix. I'm excited about that, not just for her plan, because I don't think it's that special, but because of what this could mean for like the rest of the show. If they're gonna add more riders that are like just fodder, or is it gonna be the main three that gets just powered up continuously?
That's what's weird. I mean, we've seen the magazine leaks of Geats' next power up. We're not really getting into it here because I don't think it's fair. Some people don't want to get spoiled from that. If we hear back from people and you guys want to see us talk about that, we'll talk about it. But
oh yeah, definitely.
For now, we'll just talk about the episodes. Well, for what we see, publicly. But so we've seen his power ups, and I'll just say they're not what I'm sticking to. Like I said, they'd be using the guns from their sponsors. It looks like it's something else. We'll see. But what do we see next? What do you think?
Oh no, just to wrap up, since this wasn't a super huge Kamen Rider episode, it like I was saying in the beginning, like a clip show. It was basically reintroducing all the writers, the 3 main writers, and then
That's what I was gonna say.
The Jamato, reintroducing the Jamato.
Sorry, my brain farted real hard. What's weird is that this is now the JGP, but the game is still not over. From the disaster, this is the same game we're going on.
Yeah, the DGP is on hold indefinitely, and because she has that belt. Even
Buffa, he's from the game before this one, technically, right? He didn't get reset with everybody else because he was in the garden,
right?
It feels like the premise of this being a game I think I talked about this last episode that we were talking about this. The premise of it being, a game every like couple episodes.
Yeah.
That's not happening anymore. That's not even a thing.
No.
It kind of reminds me of Q-Ranger, where it's a spacefaring adventure, and then by episode like 5 or 6, they're just on Earth, and they're just on Earth for the rest of the show. Basically, I mean, there are some other space stuff, but it just reminds me of that, where in Geats, they are just sticking to the one continuity now, and I kind of wish it was more. It was stretching out more so that we could see even more writers that are in the DGP. We are technically seeing more writers with these guys, but I wanted to see more like normal people fighting for the game.
Like that old man. That was super sad.
Yeah, the old man, or that one lady who just gets destroyed.
It's unfortunate that we didn't start the show earlier to get a chance to talk about that, because that one particular piece of that episode where she gets destroyed is 1, hilarious, and 2, super like heartbreaking, because she doesn't have a chance with these new Jamato.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. What, she have the propeller?
Yeah, she had the propeller and she tried to run away.
Yeah, that's too bad.
And then Neon came in with her
her Bito.
Yeah, she wrecked shop with that.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about Geats?
No, that pretty much wraps it up.
Okay. Geats was cool. But really, I made a joke earlier that the reason this was a clip show is for the people who only watch Dawn Brothers. They want to come in a little earlier so they don't miss anything. So they throw a clip show in for people who aren't keeping up with Kamen Rider, can sort of get refreshed and check out what is going on with this show before saying goodbye to one of the best Sentais we've had in years.
In years? No, dude. Zenkaiger.
Yeah. Dawn Brothers was just spectacular, though. Really, 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 really good. So let's just really quick run through what happened in the episode.
Yes.
We see Haruka sort of presenting her new manga, and it's the Avataro Sentai. Well, let me get to the scene. Sorry about that. Here we go. We see that she's made a manga based on her adventures as a Dawn Brother.
Yeah.
We can see this really nice picture here of the books. We're like at a press conference. We don't really know what's going on. And then we sort of see Don Momotaro approaching Haruka, getting out of school. She's saying goodbye to her friends or whatever, and he asks her, and we find out he's asking everybody, do you regret being a Dawn Brother? Do you regret being part of the team? Do you regret being on the Sentai? And everybody, Haruka, Sonoshi, Saruhara, Kijino, and Tsubasa, they all say no, we liked it. They're pretty proud of it. They really appreciate that they got to be a part of Dawn Brothers and got to work with Don Momotaro and everything. And he's sort of doing the rounds and saying goodbye to everybody. And as he's doing this, we sort of see that he's losing his memory. So he's sort of evaluating what they think of having been a Dawn Brother before turns out his memory gets reset. So while this is happening, he's visiting everybody one by one. Sono Na and Sono Ya are here, and they make easy work.
Oh yeah.
Of Sono Go and Sono Roku.
One shot.
They take their suits and they basically one shot them, and then they're looking for Sono Shi, and they find him just destroying a wedding, which is great. With the fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
And then they get rid of him, and then the fight moves on to. Yeah, the fight moves on to the other Sonos, minus Sonoi. Momo asks Sonoi for help because they invited him out to eat so they can all have a meal together for, I guess, one last time. The team sort of accepts that, Don Momotaro is having his memory reset, and Sonoi is refreshing Momo as he's talking to them. This is Haruka, she draws manga, this is what she's like. And then he sort of gives everybody little nuggets of wisdom to each of them. My favorite probably was Inu saying that he wished he had more time because he joined the team really late. And he also hated Momo when they first met, and even when they were part of a team, he didn't want to take orders from him. So to see him here at the end, sort of wishing he had more time, that was really touching. But in the middle of Sonoi telling Momotaro, this is Inuzaka, he's a fugitive, he's always... Momo kind of interrupts him and say, wait, who are you? So right there and then he even forgot Sonoi. So it's really sad. Sonoi leaves because he has to go fight the other Sono Na and Sono Ya, and he has to stop them from getting destroyed. Or sorry, have to stop his Sonos from getting destroyed by the Sono No and Sono Ya. Sono Na and Sono Ya.
Mm-hmm.
So that Momo can have the rest of his dinner with his friends, or his lunch with his friends. We see Momotaro leave, and the rest of the Dawn Brothers, now led by Jiro, sort of wave him off because he's gone. And we see the Sono Na and Sono Ya henshin into the purple and brown gray suits, because I guess they're not stuck to the Sono Shi and Sono
Go, Sono Roku.
Sono Go and Sono Roku. They're just suits that I guess they use now. So they do henshin and they fight. They end up in the quarry like they always do.
Mm-hmm.
Sono Ya, I think it's Kusaka. Oh, and Sono Na is Yellow Ratio, which is awesome. But he has Murasame. And while they're fighting, the Dawn Brothers show up with no Momotaro, but Jiro's there leading them. And Kusaka got Murasame because he can. But while they're fighting, Murasame rebels. He doesn't like him, so he just rebels and fights with the Dawn Brothers.
Yeah.
And they get messed up by Sono Na and Sono Ya. And it looks like all hope is lost. But while that's happening, Momo is in the diner with Zenkai Black Kaito. Zenkaiger Black. He hands Momo the manuscript for Haruka's manga.
Mm-hmm.
He's reading it, sort of reliving the memories he's had, and you can see it sort of coming back to Momotaro slowly. And then you get back to the battlefield, and again, all hope is lost. Everybody's beat up, and then all of a sudden you hear the ha 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 that Momotaro is so famously known for. He shows up. He's already henshined, and he sort of tells everybody, "Hey, this is pitiful. You're my companions. Announce yourselves." So they finally do an actual roll call.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been cool if the next picture that I showed was the roll call, but that's fine. They finally do a roll call, which is beautiful because the Noto are in it, and Murasame is in it.
Yeah.
And Doragoku and Extora are in it, which is really great. So both forms of Jiro. So everybody does their roll call, and he gets to Momotaro, and he's sort of lost because he still doesn't quite have all his memories. But you sort of see the flashback of him looking at the manuscript, and he sort of comes to him. Oh, that's right. I'm Momotaro, born from a peach, and he does his, and then it's just a really nice roll call. The first and only official full roll call we get the whole series is the last episode.
Yep.
And that's brilliant. Because that's one of the staples of Sentai is the roll call every episode when they fight their bad guys. It's great. It's one of my favorite things every episode. But for them to hold it and not do it until the last episode, it's brilliant. So after that, they're fighting, and Momotaro does his big final finish, and he takes care of Sono-na and Sono-ya. In doing so, the explosion kind of takes him away, and he disappears from the battlefield. Everybody thinks he's gone, dead. Mm-hmm. Something, he's gone, but they accept it because the rest of the team accepts that, he's doing something else, and the Dawn brothers are, moving forward. So we see months later. Oh no! Before we see months later, we see Inuzaka and Sono-ni running from the law. We see Natsumi or Miho, whatever she's gonna go by now, going back to Kijibro.
Right.
Saruhara is still a bum, walking around saying haikus. That's, what he is. And we don't see what happened to Sonoi at all. Mm-mm. But he's here, so whatever. And then Sonoza is still being the chief editor for Haruka, and here we see her with her mangas. Now this is months later, where everybody's moved on, stuff has happened, no Momo, everybody's here, and she's continuing to work on the manga, and we see her home again. Oh yeah, there's Momotaro. We see her home again, and they get a knock on the door. She opens the door. It's a package, and guess who? That's right. So Momotaro's here, but he's not who he was. He's living his own life. He's his own guy now. No memory of being Dawn Brothers or helping out or anything like that. But that smile, that acknowledgement that is shared between him and Haruka, I think is really sweet.
Yeah.
And that's how the episode ends. That's how the series ends.
It's one of the first lines that Momoi says to Haruka is the last line that he says to her.
Yeah.
A good little, it all comes back around.
Yeah. So the show really stuck to the theme of bonds that you can make with people. And that's really special because that at its core is kind of what Sentai is about. These bonds you make with your team.
Right.
To help work together and fight evil. But with this series, it's really, really interesting because there was no clear big bad. Even the final battle wasn't really anything. It was sort of like a couple sword swipes.
Yeah. Because Momoi's badass.
Yeah. But there was no big like, I'm the final boss. You have to fight me now.
Yeah.
And that's a staple from Sentai too. But it just works here. Like I said before, the characters are so enjoyable to watch. Every week, the crazy batshit stuff they would do, just so entertaining, and it felt great to see what we would see every week. So getting into the stuff that wasn't like cleared up, we don't really know what's up with Kaito. We don't really exactly know what's up with Murasame. I read on Twitter that, and I guess we missed this in an earlier episode, Mother in Murasame was actually in his head. Mm-hmm. It was a voice in his head.
Right.
It was never an actual entity. So it was kind of a voice in his head like Jiro.
Oh, I see. I see.
And they had that interaction where they met on a bridge and they talked like, hey, you're kind of like me. Mm-hmm. So that's okay. I don't really. Murasame always felt to me like a mandate from the toy people to put a purple sword into the show to sell, because purple heroes were really popular because of Stay Caesar. You got Guy Sorg, and you got kind of not really Yodona, but what's his name in Kira Major?
In
The
Kira
brother.
Major?
Yeah.
Purple?
Yeah. Garza.
Oh yeah, okay,
Garza. Yeah, purple heroes were purple,
purple people,
entities were popular.
and like the Chief Dragon in Q Ranger.
Sure. 5 years ago. So to me personally, I always thought Murasame was in for the toys, like I always say about this every week. But Murasame specifically, I never really cared about that as a character. Not to say he's a bad character, I just didn't care. So I didn't need a resolution with that one. We kind of don't really see more of the inner workings of the Noto, the brain space, the Dawn Brothers. We don't really get into any of that. But again, I think in leaving that stuff out, that tells its own story. Like, that wasn't necessary. What you were supposed to care about in this show, what you were supposed to care about this season, were the characters. And boy, these characters are characters. Every week I was looking forward to what kind of stupid stuff they get into. I was looking forward to the dumb faces Haruka would make. Whatever Sarahara would say, how big Kijino was going to cry, and how standoffish Inuzaka was going to be. I really, really enjoyed this Sentai. I think I'm going to put this up in my top 5, maybe. I mean, to get into it. Maybe we can even do an episode about our top Sentai and writers. Kyoryu just number 1, but I think Dawn Brothers has a spot somewhere up there as well. Yeah.
Definitely, it was a good. This series itself was top notch. Even though it didn't follow the formulaic Sentai timeline of doing things, with the roll call and the characters meeting initially and everything. Even though it didn't do the traditional stuff a Sentai usually does, it still made it that much more memorable and that much more good of a show with the character interactions itself. Personally, I liked Sarahara with his wabi-sabi lifestyle. I like that a lot. Just because I learned about that a long time ago. And to be reminded of it in this show with his lifestyle and his haikus, him being the doctor, is that what they called him in the beginning?
Oh, professor.
Professor, yeah, and him eating imaginary food and putting people in imaginary prisons. That was awesome. I definitely liked him the most. No, well, maybe. This last episode was really a really good stamp for the whole series overall, in characters, in storyline, and in just the whole feeling of it. One thing, it still left some open endings for, the Noto and for Kaito, but that is all excusable because of how great this episode was and how great this finale was.
Yeah. I'll leave it on hers. She, obviously, of course, was one of the best characters of the show. She's just so funny, and I liked a lot that the show sort of started with her narration and it ended with her narration.
Yeah, it was great.
Having said that, the fact that she opens the door, sees him, and says nothing, she just looks at him, smiles. Man, it was so nice, so touching. I really appreciate this year that we had with Dawn Brothers. I'm very much looking forward to next year, next weekend, whatever, when King Oger starts. It's going to be really hard not to look at King Oger and not compare to Dawn Brothers, because, we all did it with Zenkaiger to this as well, to Dawn Brothers as well. But once Dawn Brothers was rolling, man, it was so different from Zenkaiger. Yeah. I have a feeling we're gonna get the same thing with King Oger. King Oger's gonna be so different from Dawn Brothers. We'll see what happens. I'm really excited. At the end of the show, on Twitter, they announced a bunch of stuff. They announced a new mini pla set for Dawn Brothers. Which is like a golden foil, not foil, golden finish on the Robotaro on the Palanquin Phoenix. They also announced the memorial gun for Dawn Blaster. Did you see that?
I did see that. That was, oh man.
Yeah. So they showed off the like the molding of it, but
it looks huge.
Here is the actual. How does that look? Hey, we can see that.
Nice. Yeah, it looks absolutely huge.
I'll make sure none of my.
You just go full screen. But yeah, it looks great. The molding looks perfect.
Yeah, so it's going to be 125% bigger.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Huge.
You see all the paint applications on it. The DX, all the screws on the memorial. There's no screw holes.
Mm-hmm.
These are the gears you get with it, which are pretty great. I never got this gear. I never got any of these gears, I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to have voice lines like most memorial items are. Most memorial items do. Here's our team. I'm going to miss these idiots. It's got background music, BGM music.
Don't Boo.
Don't Boo, of course, is on here. I wish I could read all that. And then for a special promo, if you get it in the first 2 weeks, you get a King Odra gear as well.
So cool.
Who knows what that's going to say. And then this weird promotion. Here we can see this is a screenshot of the website. And I'm going to tell you, TJ.
Yes.
I ordered this.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It is going to be coming in November.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's my background. Say hi, background.
It's coming in November?
It's coming in November. It's when it releases. I'm doing it in payments because, yes, I am unemployed, but I'm doing it in payments.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming out to a lot cheaper than I thought, which is pretty awesome. But
that's good.
I told myself when we first got a leak a couple months ago that the possibility of a Memorial Dawn Blaster was coming, I did two things. I started stocking up on some of the gears that I knew I was going to get, and I was saving up money because I knew I was going to get this gun. So I'm super excited. I'm going to have that gun, and I have a bunch of gears that I've wanted, that I specifically picked out so that I can use on this Memorial Blaster.
Oh, that's cool. I
can't wait. It's going to be awesome. It's coming in November. Yeah.
That's awesome. Man, that... I can't wait for that to come in. It's going to be awesome. It's going to look cool. It's going to sound cool. It's going to have all the background music and the voice lines for it.
Yeah, I'm finally going to be able to transform. It's going to be cool. Everybody's going to be jealous of me.
Oh, that's going to be awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm going to fight crime.
I'm going to... What you see now... Because you did that.
Oh my god, did you just... No, it's in your cart.
It's in my cart, but because you did that, now it's my obligation to buy the Memorial Geertlinger for Zenkaiser.
Yeah, I thought you would have done that already. I mean, you got Zenkaiser figure arts.
Yeah, I got his figure arts. Such a cool design.
Yeah.
But I missed out on the Geertlinger when it first came out, and I was a little bit upset by that. But with the price, I thought, okay, that's reasonable for me not to get it, you know, at the moment. But Toku Collectibles just made a tweet the other day saying that it's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have it again, so expect it. So now my finger is on the trigger, so to speak, of me getting that. Instantly.
Do it in payments. If you're going to get it, do it in payments.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, my thing is, I need a job badly because this is the 10-year anniversary of Kyoryuger, and oof. I can't not get that gun.
Right.
They have to release a gun for that. Even if there's no special, I really want a special. But if they make a gun, a Memorial... Gabu Revolver? Is that right?
Gaburincho.
Gabu.
That sounds right.
Yeah, Gabu Revolver. I need it. I need that. I need it. And it's gonna be great because that's a big yellow transformation gun, and I'm getting the Dawn Blaster, which is a big yellow transformation gun.
Yeah.
And I noticed the other day, and this is unfortunate for me, because I don't like guns, but the only transformation devices I have for Sentai are guns. I have the Q Ranger and the Lupat guns.
Yeah, both super guns.
And they're both guns. I didn't get the Zenkaiger one, so I'm safe there.
Yeah.
But I guess I like...
You're gonna be safe for long.
I like toy guns. I don't like real guns, but I like toy guns, I guess.
I'm looking at the list here for all like the Sentais. Just looking at it, it's a lot of people, and the last two are so different from everyone else.
What are you talking about?
I'm looking at a list of all the Sentai.
Oh, just
like a picture of them.
Oh,
and I'm looking at the last two, and we are so different.
what do you mean, Don Brothers?
Yeah, Don Brothers is so like not the traditional Sentai formula, and it's great, and it's so great for that.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. Oh man, it was awesome. I'm really glad we got to see Don Brothers this year.
Yeah, it was very memorable.
Well, next week we're gonna get to see a whole new world.
Yeah,
it's literally a whole new world because the world, Earth, planet that King Oger takes place on is an alternate reality.
Yep.
Where there's 5 different continents, and each of those continents countries has a champion king, and that's who the King Oger is. So it's not going to be, America, Africa, whatever. These are going to be these. I don't know the names of the countries, but these are going to be brand new countries for this reality, which is really interesting.
I'm hoping to get a lot of out of suit action, which might not happen. In past years, we've been seeing a lot of less out of suit fighting in each series, just for safety precautions and all that's been going on. But I really hope that this season specifically, we start to ramp up again on the out of suit fighting, because that was it used to be a big part of the show, and I really miss it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about Kyoryuger, just constant out of suit fighting. I don't know if we're gonna get it in Kyoryuger just because, first of all, the Black Ranger has sandal boots.
Oh, those are terrible.
Second of all, the Yellow Ranger is in a dress, like a big frilly dress. Yes. Not that it's impossible, but just again for the safety of the actors, I don't know if we're gonna get much of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of started with Kira Major. There wasn't much, but again, Kira Major is kind of the COVID season, so it's understandable.
Yeah.
Yu Soldier had a good amount.
Yeah, he had a lot.
So again, we'll see. I hope King Oger. I mean, again, I'm a mark for Sentai, so I'm always gonna think Sentai is amazing, no matter what it is. Maybe the next one will prove me wrong, and we'll get a bad Sentai. It's bugs. So
no. There's never been a bad Sentai. It's debatable. We get a lot of iffy Kamen Riders. There are some bad Kamen Riders.
Yeah.
But I don't think, in my opinion, there's never been a terrible Sentai.
Yeah, that's another discussion for another day.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
And I'm saying that as the Kamen Rider super fan over here, that we have some bad shows, but most of them are good. But every Sentai is great.
Yeah, most Sentai is competent. And I prefer Sentai. I'll watch Kamen Rider, of course, but I prefer Sentai. Did you have any other final words, final thoughts?
Thank you, Dawn Brothers. The writer who's definitely listening to this right now,
mm-hmm.
for Dawn Brothers, who's definitely right now listening to this.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate your hard work. Thank you again for giving us another great show in your long list of shows that you've written for Toei. And also...
it's only like 3.
It's like 3? Well,
maybe
the next one you do, I don't know if it's gonna be as good as Don Brothers.
Toshiki Inui, by the way.
Inui. Oh, he was in the episode.
Yeah, I was gonna shout him out, showing up right at the end there.
He was there.
It's pretty good. He does that.
You didn't even acknowledge him, but he's there. You can see him.
He's in this scene to the very, very far right. You can't see him, but he's there.
Yep.
He looks like he's the one that gives him the trophy, actually. But it's pretty cool. He shows up because why not?
I want to talk about these get-ups here. They look awesome, especially Sonoza. He looks awesome.
Yeah, you like his suit.
Yeah, I like that he's brown. I like the color brown, and I like his just his jagged edged formal wear. It looks awesome. Kiji, pretty basic, still looking good though. Pink shirt. Jiro, old school, flared shirt. The girls look great in their dress, and I like her hat. That's great. Oh, I just noticed that.
Yep.
Inu has her hand. Oh. Inu has his hand around her.
Oh, yeah. You see anything else about them?
Black and white.
Yeah.
Oh, he has white
and
on, and she has black hat. Oh, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. Yeah, he has a black suit. Very charming. Sarahara. I don't know what that is, but it looks great.
His long tailcoat.
Yeah, he's an old man.
It works.
Wabi sabi.
How he would be dressed.
He also has tuxedo shoes on, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah.
I miss these guys already.
That was Don Brothers. I'm looking forward to my gun that I'm getting.
Yeah.
Anything else, TJ?
No, I take that back. I don't think Sarahara. I think Kiji is my favorite character.
Okay.
I love Kiji.
Cool. you can enjoy that.
Yeah.
Thank you again, everybody, for listening, watching. I have been Super Blastex. You can find me Twitter, Super Blastex, Instagram, Super Blastex, TikTok, The Super Blastex. Hit us up. You can hit us up on YouTube. Leave us some comments.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, we'll be glad to answer. Let us know your feedback. I want to hear what you thought about the Don Brothers finale.
Yeah.
I want to have a discussion. I want to have communication with you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. So please, either here, Twitter, whatever, hit us up. I want to hear from you. Tony?
I have been Toku Tony. You can find me on Instagram at Toku Tony and on Twitter at Tony Toku. Yeah, hit us up. Go to the comments. Tell us what you like about the show. Tell us what you like about how you like Sentai or Kamen Rider or any other tokusatsu show that we might talk about in the future, maybe. But yeah, let's try to start this up and let's get this going.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week with King Oger and Geats. Bye-bye.
Bye.